The pillow still has her scent. What I did with it will surprise you. I kept the pillow because the pillow still has her scent. Not just perfume, not just soap. It's her. A mix of lavender and laundry, breath and body warmth, the faintest trace of hairspray. And I've been sleeping beside it for 381 nights. People say I should let it go. Wash it. Tuck it away. Move on. But I didn't. And what I did instead, well, even I didn't expect that part. They say it's the people who remember you. But sometimes, it's the room. The room knows. It holds things in a way memory can't always manage. The slant of light across her side of the bed. The small dip in the mattress, where her body curled for so many nights. Even now, her side still feels a little cooler, a little quieter, as if the air hasn't quite adjusted to her absence. Every morning, without thinking, I reach across the bed. Just a simple motion. Habit more than hope. But when my hand touches only the sheets, I remember. You'd think that after a year, my body would have caught up. But grief doesn't move in straight lines. It's not a finish line you cross. It's a circle you walk. Again and again and again. And the strange thing is, it's not the big days that undo you. Not birthdays, not holidays. You prepare for those. It's the middle of the night. When the house is so still, you can hear the hum of the fridge, the ticking of the wall clock, and the sound of your own breath catching. And there, in the dark, you turn toward the pillow, just to see if she's still there in the scent. And sometimes, she is. The first night without her. The first night. I didn't cry. Not at first. Grief doesn't always come like thunder. Sometimes it's just the sound of the fridge humming down the hall when the world around you has gone still. I lay there, hands folded across my chest like a man in a museum. The ceiling fan spun slowly overhead. Useless. Steady. It was all too clean. Too ordered. Too quiet. The sheets smelled like detergent. But beneath that, I swear, there was something else. I turned to her side. Not because I expected anything, but because I didn't know what else to do with my body. Habit, maybe. Hope, maybe. And that's when I smelled it. Not strong, not perfumed, but soft. Familiar. Anchored to the pillow, like it had made a home there. It smelled like Tuesday mornings. Like her robe, fresh from the dryer. Like the back of her neck when she leaned in to say something she didn't want anyone else to hear. It smelled like her. And I breathed her in like prayer. Like maybe scent could be salvation. Funny thing is, I never noticed her scent much while she was here. It was just part of the air, part of us. But when everything else left, that's what stayed. For a while. The laundry dilemma. After that, I couldn't bring myself to wash the pillowcase. It sat there on the bed like a secret, a small rebellion against the passage of time. Every week, I stripped the sheets, ran the cycle, added the softener she used to prefer, lavender breeze. But the pillowcase, I'd lift it gently like it might shatter, place it aside, and when everything else was clean and folded, I'd tuck the pillow back in, untouched, unwashed. I wasn't ready to lose her again. Not like that. I made the bed, like a ceremony. Tucked the corners just the way she liked. Smoothed out the quilt. But always left her pillow as it was. Still warm, with something I couldn't name. Our daughter came by one afternoon, noticed the untouched fabric. "Maybe it's time, Dad," she said. Soft, not unkind, but firm in that way grown children are when they think they understand. what healing looks like. I didn't explain, not fully. How do you tell someone that grief doesn't always shout? Sometimes it just whispers, "Not yet." Sometimes grief smells like Pantene, and the best thing you can do is let it linger the day it faded. Then one morning, I leaned in, pressed my face into the pillow like I always did, and it was gone. Just cotton, just fabric, just empty. The scent had vanished, the last trace of her, erased by air and time and breath. It hit like a wave. Not the crashing kind, but the slow, icy kind that creeps up your chest and doesn't let go. I sat on the edge of the bed and sobbed. Not the kind of sobbing they put in movies. No dramatic music. No yelling at the heavens. Just a soft unraveling. The kind you try to keep quiet because grief has already taken up so much space. My chest ached. My hands shook. I wasn't just crying for the scent. I was crying because I realized I'd built a whole second goodbye around that pillow, and now even that was gone. I hadn't been sleeping next to a cushion. I'd been sleeping next to a lifeline, a memory I could hold with both hands. And now it had slipped through my fingers like smoke. The unexpected surprise. A few days later, I found myself wandering the hallway, not looking for anything in particular, just moving because stillness felt too loud. I opened her dresser for the first time in months. Everything was where she'd left it, folded with a kind of care I could never replicate. And then I smelled it. That blend of linen and garden and something I can only call her. I slid open the drawer, and there it was, a small sachet, one of the ones she used to make herself. She used to sit in the sunroom, sewing them by hand, filling them with dried lavender from her little patch out back. "Tuck one in every drawer," she'd say. "Let the house remember me if I forget myself." I held it in my palm, soft, worn, still intact. And then, the scent, not faded, not faint, full, alive. It rushed into me like a hymn I hadn't heard in years, so specific, so unmistakably her. And for a second, just a second, I was back in the kitchen. She was laughing at one of my terrible puns. The kettle was whistling. There was flour on her cheek. I wasn't holding fabric anymore. I was holding her. And I thought, I can't lose this. Not again. Not if there's still a way to carry her with me. That night, I sat on the edge of the bed, the sachet in my hand like a question I didn't know how to answer. I turned it over slowly, ran my thumb across the stitching. It was her thread, her rhythm, her care sewn into the seams. I stared at the pillow, blank now, just fabric. It didn't hold her anymore. But this little sachet somehow did. And that's when the fear crept in. What if this scent faded too? What if this was the last time I'd ever smell her again? I wanted to press it into a jar, freeze it, protect it from air and time and forgetfulness. But then something strange stirred inside me, a thought I hadn't let myself consider before. Maybe the answer wasn't to preserve her like a museum. Maybe the answer was to bring her with me, not just in memory, not in mourning, but in motion. See, grief is greedy when we leave it alone. It wants us still, silent, stuck. But love, real love, it walks beside you. It changes shape. It whispers, "Take me with you." And that night, for the first time since she left, I whispered back, "Okay." So I did something a little odd. I stitched the sachet into the inside of my winter coat, right over the heart. It took me 3 tries. The thread kept slipping. I hadn't sewn anything since 7th grade, but eventually it held. And now, when I walk, she walks with me. Not haunting, just holding. when I wait for the bus, when I bend to tie my shoes, when I stand in line at the post office. She's there, not in pain, not in memory alone, in scent, in breath, in motion. We don't always need to move on. Sometimes we just need to move with. The pillow no longer smells like her, and that's okay. Because I do. Because the coat does. Because the house holds her laugh in the way the windows rattle when it storms. Because love, true love, finds its way into the seams, into the scent of linen, into the hush of empty rooms, into the heart that keeps beating even after goodbye. She's not on the pillow anymore, but she's still here, not gone, just carried, just close, just softer now. This has been The Golden Compass. Thank you for spending time with us. If you enjoyed this, check out our other episodes.